Hello. I think few fans of the gamers do not know such series as Ultima. Of course, because it's one of the most famous role-playing series, but she didn't show up right away. Such role-playing games were known to players at the time as games with board, dice, chips, pencils and paper. It is possible to say that it is thanks to Akalabeth role-playing video games began to gain popularity, anchoring it with the Ultima series and a bunch of other masterful games such as The Elder Scrolls, The Bard's Tale and The Wizarding. Such modern games create unbelievable game worlds with exciting stories, great graphics and a bunch of unique characters with their own characters and features. Akalabeth in turn reduces such games to the simplest kind. So, where did this interesting game come from? Garriott wrote it on BASIC for the Apple II. He started it as a school project. The game was created over 2 years with the support of his friends and testers' D&D games. The development of the game began after Garriott met Apple II, which was given to him by his father. Garriott's boss suggested that he sell the game in the store. Garriott agreed and spent $200 to package and sell the game for $20. His mom drew the cover and he printed the manual himself. Eventually he was contracted by the California Pacific Computer Company. The game is set at $35, of which $5 was given to Garriott. According to him, the game earned $150,000. Question: who can inspire the creation of fantasy worlds? Right, Tolkien. While the game is not an adaptation of Tolkien's books, in the original game the final boss is the monster Barlog. What if the name Akalabeth is the name of one of the parts of Silmarillion by Tolkien? A certain Cory Roth later rewrote the game into DOS. This game is considered the first official port of the game to anything other than the Apple II. Despite Garriott's comments about the big sale, the game does not have as many clones as games with similar sales. There's even an opinion that Garriott lied a little bit. Garriott could easily have received the same $15 per game, and then $150,000 would have sufficed to sell 10,000 games. Akalabeth's first mission is to find Castle Lord British, which will send the player on several dungeon quests to defeat the monsters. After downloading, the player will be shown a brief overview of player statistics, cities and items, the difference between the two character classes and the control scheme. First, the player is shown a map with the cities, dungeons and the castle of Lord British. When a player enters a dungeon, the game goes into first-person mode. Everything is simple, so the surroundings add to the player's imagination. Food is a must. The absence of a permanent map or compass makes it very difficult to navigate the dungeon. Control is simple. Forward, back, left, right, A for attack, M for magic. The game is very difficult for strangers to the genre. The first-person view made the player feel like explorer. Repetitive quests are unlikely to trigger the game again, although random number at the beginning of the game can get you into different maps variant. Although Garriott claims to have started selling the game in the summer of 1979, Jimmy Maher believes the game was not released until the summer of 1980. In 1980, California Pacific registered the game's copyright and it was listed as one of 30 soft talk games on sale in October of that year. Steve Jackson, creator of a number of games including Munchkin, reviewed Akalabeth in The Space Gamer. He recommended it and said that the game had the best graphics he had ever seen, that the game was diverse, logical and most importantly, fun. Others spoke less well. Bruce Humphrey, for example, called the game a poor cousin for Wizardy and other role-playing. The Scorpion from Computer Gaming World said that the game is not so amazing and he is a fan of Ultima. But he admits that the game was the first to offer a three-dimensional perspective schedule of dungeons. Text role-playing games are interesting, but most of the work is imaginative. This game clearly showed how vast the map is, what caves, monsters and treasures can be. For most people the game is hardcore, but I think it's only because it's old. At that time there were almost no simple games apart from the arcades, which were also difficult. Needless to say, if it were not for Akalabeth, there were no Elder Scrolls and Witchers. And these are world masterpieces. Thank you for your attention. Ciao!